We begin tonight with the bombshell from the White House. The Jacksonville portion of the Republican National Convention has been canceled. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Heather Crawford.
And I'm Anthony Austin. President Donald Trump making that big announcement earlier today from Capitol Hill. The president citing a, quote, flare-up of coronavirus cases in the state of Florida as the reason for the cancellation. We have team coverage for you tonight with reaction from city leaders as well as both the Republican and Democratic parties. Our Alex Ositis kicks off our team coverage.
The convention countdown stopped, and Republican leaders standing behind the decision.
Mayor Wendy Curry and Sheriff Mike Williams issuing a joint statement. Quote, we appreciate President Donald Trump considering the public health and safety concerns in making an incredibly difficult decision. The Duval GOP adding, quote, while it wasn't the outcome we were hoping for, we know that President Trump made this decision with the knowledge that he's doing what's best for the people of Jacksonville. The Underside team also spoke with Dan Eberhardt, who's a Republican fundraiser and CEO for a Colorado-based company.
I mean, I think this is a retreat, but I think it's what makes sense in the context of the surging virus in Florida.
He planned to attend in Jacksonville what would be his third convention, describing the move as a no-win situation for the city, businesses, and delegates. Eberhardt says it shows that President Trump can adapt.
It shows that he's taking the virus seriously and that he is trying to be responsible in what he's doing.
The city of Charlotte says that they still have a scaled-back agreement in place with the RNC, so it's unclear how to accommodate nearly 2,000 delegates. Reporting, Alex Ositis, First Coast News, on your side.
Alex, thank you. And of course, we are getting a lot of reaction from this big announcement. The Florida Democratic Party releasing this statement tonight saying, quote, I'm glad President Donald Trump took his head out of the sand long enough to realize what a predictable, preventable disaster he was about to inflict on the city of Jacksonville. Their statement went on to say that his, quote, ego-driven political stunt has wasted precious time and resources during a pandemic, and Floridians will remember his reckless leadership in November. And then we're getting this statement from the Jacksonville 2020 Host Committee saying tonight that President Trump made the absolute right decision for the health and safety of the people of Jacksonville and the entire state of Florida. The rise in the number of COVID-19 cases in Florida is serious, and the president and the RNC have demonstrated great concern for the safety of all Floridians.